Chai After Dark includes adult language and NSFW content. If you have auntie sensibilities, this podcast is not for you.
Hey, potty people, it's your captain speaking, Captain Ron, and thank you for joining us on this special interview episode of Chai After Dark. Before we get to it, some housekeeping notes. Sign up to our newsletter podcast via substack.com. Just go to chaiafterdark.com. Review us on greatpods.co via your desktop if you can. There's an ad review option at the top of the page. Rate us on Apple, Spotify, Pocket Cast, or wherever else they have ratings. Lastly, don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. We've got a big episode today, and lucky you get to listen to it. We talked to our boy, one of our favorites of the season since talking about Indian matchmaking. It's Vyasar, the school counselor from Austin, Texas. We get into the behind the scenes, his favorite moments, and what he has been up to recently in this fun conversation. So, Chaiwalas, Chaiwalis, Midnight Chai Society, let's go.
Yeah, you got to hit record. I can't believe we got to teach you guys this. You got to record the second the guest gets in the room. This is gold. This is
this is going in.
I'm not sure.
This is going in.
And speaking of gold, aren't you the golden heart? Right, Iman?
It's got such a golden heart.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it
that
is.
was the biggest bottle of water I've ever seen.
Roles.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
$40 at Costco. Best deal of your life.
Wow.
Keeps chai hot for 24 hours. I've tested.
Oh my god.
Nice and piping hot for 24 hours.
Hey.
It's great. This thing
Is awesome.
I can't board a plane with it, right?
Right.
But the brand name is Munna, so I've been taking to calling it my child.
It's huge.
Oh.
So you had to say it like Munna. Like, what is it? Like Munna? Yo, Munna bay, Munna bay.
Yeah, exactly.
Does nobody have chai cups? Because now I feel stupid.
I mean,
Chai.
He's got that, yeah.
I made a...
Good enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have a vanilla latte. It's not even chai, so it's okay.
So should we circle back?
Let's circle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an amazing episode, an exciting episode. The anticipation is mounting. It has all come down to this. Welcome to Chai After Dark.
Chai.
And we are joined by a special guest from Indian Matchmaking Season 1, Vyasar. What is up, Vyasar?
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Thanks again for this dope shirt. My fiance's very jealous. It looks so good. It's very comfy. If you guys have these for sale, to anybody listening, you should buy these. They're great.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Oh, he's already.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Man, we already got plugged.
I got you.
30 seconds in, we got plugged.
Yeah, nice.
Sorry, not plugged.
Not plugged?
Samim will innuendo this podcast throughout.
The whole way through.
Yeah.
And most of the time I get it.
And that's also funny as well. So Vyasar, tell us in this last week or month, what's been going on in your life?
Okay. We're in the start of a new school year. So hustle and bustle right now. I have 377 seniors that I'm working with. So it's a nice big year for us. I'm going to Minneapolis tomorrow. I've never been to the Twin Cities. I'm very excited about that. There's a couple of colleges who are paying for some counselors to fly out and visit some colleges in the area. So I'm going to see McAllister, St. Olaf, Carleton College.
Wait a second. It's St. Olaf?
Yeah.
You're going to Golden Girls country?
Yeah, I am, girl.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ron's a huge Golden Girls fan.
How deep is this reference?
Rose Nyland, Betty White's character, is from St. Olaf.
Famously Midwestern. Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad. I'm not as old as you guys, so I don't know.
Relax.
Whoa. Listen,
if not older.
I just got back from a very long flight last month, and all I did on that flight was watch the Golden Girls. So
My bad, dude. My
Watch how
bad.
you speak.
Yeah.
That
No
show-
slander on the Golden Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
this
show
is-
is incredible.
Imran came after me too. I've already done this. So I totally get it. Yeah, my bad.
Going after you, bro. But
Imran, who's your favorite of the Golden Girls?
it depends on the day. But most recently, before I've been going to sleep, I've been looking at all the Dorothy insults.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dorothy has the best insults.
I have a soft spot for Sophia.
Yeah, Sophia's good too. She's a solid. Rose is my favorite because she's so dumb.
But like,
So
but
dumb.
there's that hint of intelligence in her though, so that's
Yeah.
what makes her like character dynamic. It's just like, yeah, she plays off the dumb friend. She plays the dumb friend, but she's actually pretty smart.
Well, let's be clear. The hint of intelligence is Betty White. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay. She brings out her real life persona in the mix. Speaking of personas, all right, and characters on the show, I like to always kind of go down the route of the editing process and the behind the scenes type of work
Oh,
that goes
yeah.
on and how they edit a story together. One thing that stands out, we're going to jump into the scene where you're telling your friends about your dad, and the cuts that they make seem awkward, and there's a lot of dead air, like silence, to show that awkwardness, like, oh, we're really taking in that story, you know. And then you had that one friend joke at the end, like, oh, what are we supposed to do with this, you know? Oh shit, like, what's going on? That I thought that moment was a little real. That part was like, oh, okay, like, cool, yeah, it does feel strange, right? So behind the scenes editing part of it, like, how was it?
Yeah, I think so. The main thing, we'd planned a lot of things for that day because I had just come straight from work to my friend's house, to my friend Rudy and Alyssa's house, and Chris was coming over. My friend Zach was supposed to come over. It was our weekly game night where we usually play Dungeons and Dragons or board games or something. And so they said, great, we'll film that. We'll set up a little charcuterie table. We'll get cameras rolling everywhere before we go. They got some like good B-roll of the dog and everything. And when I got there, they were like, okay, we need to get some footage of you talking about this story, but we don't have time to film with your family anymore. So let's film it to you telling the story to your friends. And I was like, okay.
And they really did not know.
Yeah, they really did not. They genuinely did not know. My friends,
Wow.
my friends had like an inkling about, okay, he doesn't talk about his dad, but they didn't really know the whole scope or the whole story.
Yeah.
In that much detail, especially. We basically just sat around a dinner table, and I was like, so guys, let me tell you.
There was no warm up or anything. It's just like, all right, action.
Here we go. Yeah. And like Rudy and Alyssa and Chris are so great. They picked up very quickly what we were trying to do, and they sort of went with it. So they very much leaned into the awkwardness of how weird this is. And it was helpful that Minnie the dog was under the table the whole time. So everyone was just like, anytime things got stressy or a little too intense, they just reached down, pat the dog, and like, all right, we're good to go.
Nice. Aw.
It was cute. Yeah. The thing I'm saltiest about most with that day is not that scene or how awkward they made the cuts, because it was genuinely awkward. They did try to capture that accurately. They filmed an entire Dungeons and Dragons game that never made it to air. They had me rolling dice. They had close-ups of my hand. They had character sheets. We had everything. So I brought all these props and things from home. Not a single minute of that made it to air.
Yeah.
And I'm beyond upset about it.
Was that like an IP thing, like product placement? They can't do it? Because that would have been, I don't know. They could have been awesome.
It could have been so good.
Like,
I mean, they had no problem showing me painting miniatures. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all the time they devoted to those Desi couples promoting arranged marriage, right? They could have used that time for the Dungeons and Dragons, but you know.
Yeah. We need to get that cuteness hook in there.
Yeah.
What's this nerd shit? Get this out.
Exactly. Yeah.
So are you a Baldur's Gate fan? Do you play Baldur's Gate?
I haven't played a ton of Baldur's Gate, but I've watched a lot of Let's Plays. I have a lot of friends who play. I follow a lot of the cosplay community around it. I do enjoy Baldur's Gate a lot.
Okay. I'm not gonna. We don't have to dive deep into that because these guys would be like, "What the hell is he talking about?" Baldur's Gate.
All I'll say is, if you haven't seen it yet, you should watch Elijah Wood and Sean Astin play Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah, I did.
That is one of the most incredible little videos. It's really just two hobbits playing this game. It's really great.
Yeah, the director of the game or whatever, and he was having them play Baldur's Gate. The book. It was the book of whatever spells. That was a good entertaining episode. Hey, you know what? I'll put the YouTube in the description after when we publish this.
Shout out Elijah Wood.
Look at this. 10 minutes in, we've got all these plugs going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We got this.
As if Baldur's Gates needs another plug. Great game. But I've always mentioned when we got to your scenes of Indian matchmaking, I've always introduced it as that's our guy. Yeah. Our guy's back. We're back with our guy, our boy. Yeah. That's our boy. Like, we were always very excited. It was such a pick me up, regardless of like how deep you got, from the spectrum of family to the matchmaking. You were just so jolly and bubbly. You are now. It's not were, but you still are. But like that jolly goodness of like feeling good of watching this happen. We're like rooting for you the entire time. So I guess what I'm trying to say is good job on your personality, man.
Yeah, totally.
It's really cool. Like, we want to hang you portrayed yourself in such a way that we want to hang out with you type of situation.
Totally.
Hence why.
Yeah. And
you were the only, you're the person we reached out to. And we're not lying. Yeah. You're like the person we reached out to from Indian Matchmaking.
That's really sweet of y'all. That's really kind of you guys. I have a lot of experience on camera just from like making horror movies as a kid with my friends and being on stage doing theater camps and stuff. So it didn't feel difficult to go up and do this, but I could tell like, oh, my family is going to get super weird. This is going to be super weird for some people. Mm-hmm. So the more relaxed and happy that I can try to be, right, the easier I can try to make it for other people. That being said, it is still super weird to, go on a date with someone when they've cleared out half the restaurant for you in the date, and everybody else is just sitting there watching. They're not even eating their food; they're just staring at you, waiting for you to do something. And you got a microphone, and like you're trying really hard not to scrape the plate with the fork.
Oh man, yeah.
It's like you're trying to have this like real conversation with this person you met for the first time, and there's 6 cameras just in your face the whole time. It's jarring for sure.
So yeah, okay, that's a great segue into.
Hey, Imran, I'm really sorry, dude. My computer's about to die.
How do you not have it plugged in?
I'm very unprofessional.
What is this, amateur hour?
No, it's real. We're keeping it real.
Yeah.
Listen, the audience needs to know how unscripted this is. Okay, there's so much bullshit out there about how all these podcasts are scripted. They do all this so they can take potty breaks. No, it's real. His computer is really dying, all right? This is a podcast about a reality show. It's real.
Oh, we're going to leave that video in
let's
there,
keep
too.
this in.
Just like running in the background.
I mean, I'm a fucking space case, dude. Like,
we got our narrator too, our voiceover artist. Yeah. Have you done voiceovers? Do you ever consider doing voiceovers?
I would have loved to. I really think that I'm debating what the next 5 years for me looks like, and I'm thinking about voice acting, voiceovers. That sounds fun.
Nice.
Narrating books. That would be fun. I have no idea how to get started, but I would love to do that. That would be a lot of fun.
That's actually one thing I wanted to ask you was like. We took a look at your website and it's awesome. Like you're a writer.
No, you didn't. You didn't look at the website.
Hey,
we go so bad.
We're research.
We go deep. So I wanted to ask about writing and your graduate thesis for Indian cooking.
Oh wow.
We're going deep.
Going way back.
It doesn't come into the show, right? I think you mentioned that you like creative writing, but that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering like, did you talk about it? And then as Imran said, do the producers are like, no, we're going to cut this out too? Because your personality shines through. Because the first fucking second you were on this show, I was like, oh, this is the real Vyasar. It's cool that Netflix, you're the same. But in terms of your like hobbies and stuff, I felt like the writing and you call yourself a writer. So why did they not why'd they go down a different route? Like, why didn't they bring that up?
That's a good question. It's a really good question. I mean, I could ask the same thing about like, why didn't they talk about Aparna's career choices more and her like travel program that she does? Why didn't they talk about Nadia's jobs and all the work that she's doing? Yeah. Why didn't they talk about the fact that I forget her name. She is the only one who ends season 1 getting married because she goes outside of the matchmaking process.
Oh, Rupam.
Oh,
Rupam.
Yeah. Rupam's a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We didn't know that at all.
They didn't say that at all. Yeah. Like, she's not just some lady. Yeah. She's a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? They make interesting choices for what they're trying to do in that space.
Okay.
My edit was supposed to be very lovable. It's very clear that I am the editor's favorite. I am the producer's favorite. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to gas myself up. Like, it's, anyone who's taken any amount of film courses will tell you, oh, it's very clear who they liked here.
Right.
From the
Yeah.
beginning, we knew who were. Here's the villain,
Yeah.
Aparna.
Yeah.
Here's the bubbly Nadia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dancing, tall, skinny. Then we have you as the jolly good man.
Yeah.
So like you
Lovable,
have,
yeah.
you could clearly they did a good job like really differentiating those
Right.
you guys.
Characterizing
At least the
people.
U.S.
Yeah.
The U.S. India gets a little bit all over the place, but yeah.
It's
That's,
interesting
true.
you say that about Rupam, though, because, you know, she actually comes across almost like meek and beat down. And when you talk about her in this way, you kind of see like, well, maybe they did her wrong. Maybe she's actually not. One of the things that struck me about it, because, you know, Sameem's mentioned on the podcast, he's been divorced. And I'm just like, you know, divorce doesn't, your life's not over, you know, like you shouldn't feel this beat down. And maybe she didn't. They just kind of portrayed her that way.
Yeah, I think Rupam has a lot of quiet power. She has a lot of sort of soft power. She was very clear about when she wanted to stop working with Seema. She was very clear about not wanting to do any press or any interviews after the show. When we did our, like, all the cast got together for a Zoom call, Rupam said, "That's really sweet of you guys. Thanks for inviting me, but I'm not interested."
Wow.
And,
Okay.
and was like, she's very kind. She's like, "It's not about y'all. Like, I genuinely wish you guys all the best. I loved watching you on the show. I'm just trying to do me. I'm just trying to, you know, keep my circle tight."
Wow.
Okay.
She's like, but I think there's a way to edit that, right? That makes her seem meek. There's a way to get soft power trimmed down to soft and meek, which is something that they were more interested in doing.
Right.
Part of the biggest complaint that I've seen so many people talk about in the aftermath of Indian Matchmaking is the unwillingness to embrace more complexity around the show. For myself, talking about, you know, my love for writing and creative writing more, which I did do and they could have used, means they have to talk about Columbia, where I got my MFA in creative writing. But if I went to Columbia, how can I also be poor?
Yeah.
That's because that's very much their angle with me is like, you know, Vyasar may not have all the money in the world, but he's a good man. That's that was very clearly like a direction that they were trying to create a read for. I can't be poor and also have an Ivy League degree.
Which is funny you say that, because one of the comments we made on the podcast as we did our rewatch was that they try to make that inference about you, but like your and Aparna's house from the show looks like the similar houses, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like it's like I don't know. So
we both own our own houses. Aparna owns her house. I own my house.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Nice.
We're doing fine.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
not actually destitute. Please don't Venmo. I mean, I'll take the money if you Venmo me. But like, I'm doing okay. I promise.
Yeah.
We bring that up too. So like, as Shabnam mentioned, I'm divorced. I'm actually divorced twice. Just to put all my business out there. But we say a few times, right, Shabnam and Imran, that how can a biodata, like, I don't understand how just because you don't have like a career, and I think it was Shaker, or I don't know who the person was, but he had like a podcast career. He had his own place.
Oh, Bobby Siegel.
No, was it Srini?
And then they called him a loser.
Srinivasan.
Yeah.
Yes, Srinivasan. Yeah.
And then they like called him a loser. And I'm like, how is this guy a loser? He's not like, he's not on the street. He's not anything. He's a normal dude with a normal career and a normal life. And sometimes I feel like Desi culture, or I don't know what it is, like my experience was the same thing when I first got married when I was 24.
Yeah.
My mom literally asked my first wife, and she's like, why do you want to marry him? He doesn't have any money.
Yeah, I will say that comment in particular is a good example of things being taken out of context to make Aparna seem more like a villain, right? That comment is is edited to make it look like they're discussing Srini's job and career choices, when actually the comment is in regard to something that happened on their date.
Yeah.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, we don't get that kind of context, right?
Yeah.
Like it's really difficult to know, because there was nothing he did that would constitute loser to any of us.
Yeah, nothing that made the air. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah.
I want to go back to the biodata point, though, that Sameem raised, because one of the things we've been talking about is in this sort of biodata world of Seema aunties, Akshay has this glowing biodata because he's from this very wealthy family with a family business. And then you maybe have some not so great things on your biodata, right? But when we look at the characters of both of you, and again, all we can do is go off the show's characters, you seem much more emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature, right? And so it's like you're trying to compare people's traumas from a piece of paper when you really don't know what their growth has been. And so just I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's I'll go back to what I was saying earlier. We think complexity means something is wrong. I
Mhm.
think people in the world today inherently have a fear of complexity, that we see it as a vice, that
Mhm.
we see it as something that we need to retreat from. So that because we want things to be simple. It's comfortable when things are simple. It's easy to understand. They're digestible. They're easy to break down. We want things to be simple. We don't want to walk into a meeting and be confused. We don't want to appear stupid in front of our peers. We like it when things are less complex. So when you're looking at a biodata, you want it to be reductive. You want to be able to scan it the way you would scan a resume. When you're looking at a person, you want to be able to pick up things quickly about that person, especially when there's cameras all over you, you're mic'd up, and the person's telling you, hey, you might marry this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to be able to learn and understand and do things quickly. And for that, you feel like you need simplicity.
Mhm.
But the truth is always more complex. The
Right.
world is always more complex than that. Like, we are not simple people. None of us are.
Right.
And we have to start learning to embrace more of that as time goes on, because it's not just in our dealings with other people. It's just also how we experience the world.
And it feels like the simplicity of it all, like the way they position you is fascinating, because you're talking about the Dungeons and Dragons. You're talking about like how they film. There's probably hundreds of hours of footage they have to whittle down to 30, 45 minutes, an hour, and across 3 to 4 characters per episode. You don't get the full context of somebody's. That's why we had to make these decisions right away about your personality, and like, what do we leave in to make sure that everybody's on that same path of liking you.
And remember too, the show was being edited at the start of 2020, right? The pandemic hit. Smriti Mundra, the executive producer, was pregnant, so she was out of commission for the majority of the editing.
Interesting.
Netflix took over, and what we were told the show was originally going to be more a docuseries, because they were using these crazy expensive cameras. They were getting really high quality footage. They were really trying to make it more documentary style. And all of a sudden, we're like, well, the release date's not going to be in November anymore. It's going into the summer. We need to cut this to reality show time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fascinating. Okay,
I think
so
a docuseries would have been
also.
Yeah, it would have been deep.
Yeah.
Because like when you first talked to, and excuse me, I don't remember her name, from North Carolina.
Manisha, right?
Manisha, yes.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And when you guys,
Manisha, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry.
my bad too.
I totally didn't forget your name.
Shout out Manisha.
Shout out Manisha.
Yeah.
Like that was like I was hurting when you were talking to her.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it didn't feel like it. You were obviously very sad, when you were talking to her. I don't know how many dates in that was, but that would have been some great shots for like a docuseries to like really go deep into that conversation. So yeah, no context. You guys like break up, quote unquote. I don't know if you guys broke up or not, or if it was just like, I don't know
what's
that was.
really funny about that breakup scene that they filmed?
Yeah.
We had broken up a month and a half before.
Interesting.
And we didn't record it. They asked us, when you call or whenever you do a Skype call or whatever, make sure you record it. And obviously, we record everything. That was one of the ones that happened to not be recorded. And so they were like, okay, we need you to recreate this scene. Have her on the
you're good.
Yeah. And I was like, guys, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I don't know if
you're good. Yeah. You're a good actor, man. Yeah. That was good.
No, but the best part is like knowing that. The best part is that she got her hair cut right before, and you're painting figurines as this is happening. That's actually hilarious now.
Because I didn't know that that's what they were going to do, and I was already at home just painting, and they like came into the home and they're like, all right, here's what we're doing, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
On the podcast, I literally say like, I think this is like their second or third phone conversation, and Vyasar's like, I'm cleaning my bathroom and there's hair everywhere. And then I did say, I'm like, why is he saying this in the second or third like meeting? Now I realize you guys already knew each other for a while, so that makes sense. Yeah,
recreated for the camera, guys. Act natural.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the only, I would say that's like one of the only bits of subterfuge I felt I was subject to. And at the time I rationalized it by like, well, of course, they told us to record everything. We didn't record this. I can see why, if they're doing this documentary style, they need to capture everything. But as soon as it was done, I said, guys, I need to take 10. I just like laid face down in my bed for a while.
It was a rough conversation. Like, we didn't like how it went down from her end. So
yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Shout out
Manisha, though.
Shout out Manisha.
Well, let's go over to your chai making skills.
Okay, all right.
You know, you have this scene where you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go make chai," and now on the podcast, I'd be like, "Yo, if I was meeting somebody and they're going to make chai, I definitely would ditch my family too and go to the kitchen as well. I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna help out, like, get me out of this situation." Yeah, let's. How is your chai making ability?
I would say I'm fair to middling. I'm not a pro. I don't know how to do like specific flavors or like get the right infusions going. But you know, like you tell me you want non-dairy milk, I got you. You tell me you want brown sugar, I got you.
You got almond and soy.
Yeah, I can do. I got options. I can say that.
Are you loose tea or tea bag?
Oh, loose tea. Loose tea.
Of course.
Oh, jeez.
Of course. Samim says, of course, as if he knows. Yeah, of course.
No,
dude, I got
Samim's
loose tea, everything.
Yeah, Samim's our expert chai maker. I feel like that it should be like on a scale of my chai to Samim's chai, because my chai is, I'm not good at chai. So.
I was just gonna say, like, for that scene in particular, I did have to use bag chai only because I didn't have loose chai ready. And I was in a hurry because I didn't want to leave people just stuck sitting awkwardly at my table chatting for 30 minutes.
What's the Indian store situation in Austin? Are they like
we've
coming
got,
up?
We've got Manpasand,
right?
Yeah, we've got Manpasand, we've got Patel Bros, we've got a few different places.
Oh, Patel Bros, yeah, that's right.
There's a big Desi population in Texas overall, right?
It's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Austin at least.
UT Austin has 3 different all Indian fraternities and sororities.
Oh my god! Wow. That's incredible.
Are they like international orgs? Or are we talking about domestic, like
both
Indian?
Both.
Like
wow, one is specific. Yeah, one is specifically like South Asian inclusive. One is specifically South like Indian and like happens to have like 50% Telugu members.
Oh wow,
you know, it's wild. Yeah.
So, we're doing a rewatch. We're getting through season 1. We haven't really quite gotten to season 2. I did watch it at some point, but I can't quite recall. You're not in season 2, right?
I am not in season 2, correct.
So I can't believe this about Netflix. Did they really just end with the cliffhanger of you calling Rashi and nothing after that? Like,
yep.
That's insane.
You know why? I'll tell you why. So as soon as Rashi got back to San Francisco, nothing. She completely cut off communications with me.
Oh, she ghosted you?
She ghosted me. I asked the producers to get in touch with her. They said she's doing fine. I went to San Francisco to visit my cousin in the same city she was working. And I was like, hey, like, if you want to hang out, no cameras, no nothing, we just get coffee or something, or like I can stop by, and say hi. And nothing.
Okay, so this is. Go ahead.
So that scene that you see me in the car when I'm on the phone with her, that's not her. That's one of the producers. That's one of the producers who sounds a little bit like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, so the whole call was not real?
That's not her.
Nope.
Wow.
So did you ever get to talk to her about your dad?
Nope. She learned about it when the show came out.
Wow.
It seemed like you guys were trending positively, and you're right. It just got you guys just disappeared from the show.
Mind blown. Jeez.
Interesting.
So many revelations today.
Shout out to her too.
Shout out Rashi.
Shout out Rashi. Yeah. From
I
San Francisco.
I don't know about her shouting out her for ghosting on you though.
Hey, Rashi, if you want to hang out with me though, we can get coffee in San Francisco. I'm just kidding.
I will say, as soon as the show came out, she texted me 3 times a day asking me how I was doing.
Oh,
interesting.
So she unghosted you then.
Unghosted.
Yeah.
This is a nice segue. Let's get into your dating life.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's been going on?
Because as Sapna mentioned at the end of that episode, part of the reason why we have you on here is because they just left a cliffhanger of your storyline. Like, what the hell happened? So tell us, since the end of season 1 and now, what has your dating life been like? And what is it like right now?
Well, I'm proud to say that Chai After Dark will be the first to hear this news that I am engaged as of 1 month ago.
Yeah. Actually,
2 months. 2 months now.
2 months?
Actually. Yeah. We were, my fiance and I were in Paris for the Olympics, and
Oh my God.
not just for the Olympics, it was by design.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Restaurant view of the
amazing.
Eiffel Tower and everything. Got down on one knee, had the photographer and everything.
How are you pulling
Wow.
that out during the Olympics? It's got to be massively crazy, hard to get reservations, things like that. Like, how are you pulling this off?
Because we bought the tickets 6 months in advance. I had planned as soon as we got the tickets. I started going all in on the planning.
Wow.
So you knew you were going to. Now
I
you
knew.
proposed there. You proposed
That's
there, right?
impressive. That is extremely impressive, romantic, beautiful. I don't even know what to say. Like, how dreamy.
And how
Making
much?
us-
How
making
much
us
of
look
the
bad.
bio data can you share of your fiance?
Yeah, I can tell you her name is Hannah. She is non-Indian. She's from Austin as well. She and I work together. She's a math teacher at the school that I work at.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, some workplace love.
Shout out, Hannah.
Yeah.
True
True
shout out.
True shout out, Hannah.
True shout out, Hannah.
Yeah, shout out Hannah. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
very exciting. We've set the wedding date for sometime next year. We just booked the venue.
Oh.
So
Should we do the live podcast outside your
please.
wedding venue?
Oh my God, absolutely.
I want to meet your family. I want to meet Jogi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would love you guys. He would
Yeah,
absolutely
that'd be
love you
awesome.
guys. He'll be doing
Congrats,
yoga
man.
outside my wedding for sure.
And
That's
your
great,
cousin was so great too on the show.
Oh, Anuj is a hoot and a half.
Yeah.
I love him so much. He's so wild. He's from Miami, so nothing
Oh.
can't be accounted for.
we
Miami
can't tell those
Daisies are a
stories
different
here.
breed, aren't they?
Very.
I feel like
very
they are.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My other cousin who was in Austin, Srudjan, he wasn't able to be on the show because the week they started filming, he had to move to California for 6 months for work. But we got him in at one scene, and you can barely see it. It's like a half of a frame that you barely see him.
Oh.
That he's sitting at the dining table, and I told him like, "Hey, you're going to be on camera today. The rest of my family is going to be overdressed for this because they don't like." I told them dress normally, and they're going to show up in wedding gear. Like, oh, we just got back from a function. Or whatever. I said, I need you to wear something that'll balance it out. He said, I got you. He showed up in ripped overalls and nothing else.
Wow.
No shoes, no shirt, no underwear, just overalls. Big old Levi overalls.
That's
Like
pretty
this
awesome.
is the Texas way.
This is the Texas way. It's hot as
Nice.
balls here. And so no wonder he doesn't show up for much of it. And like he's kind of blocked by the pillar in my house. But if you go back and watch one of those scenes, you kind of see his ass hanging in some overalls.
So there's a Desi dude in overalls, coveralls, I guess, without a shirt on. Okay, we gotta look.
Yeah,
for that.
we gotta
I did
go
not
back.
see
But
Yeah.
it's
that.
only for
Yeah.
like half a cut or something like
Yeah,
that. It's just like
very, very brief moment.
Yeah.
they're like,
I'm
all right,
telling
well,
you, guys, there's so much gold that didn't get used.
Yeah.
The school, they filmed a lot of stuff at school, and we filmed a lot of stuff after school. One of the things they did is they put me on a dolly and wheeled me around with a fixed camera, so it gives the illusion that I'm standing still, but everything's moving around me, and they had me make different faces.
oh,
It's always really fun. Those shots are really good.
Yeah.
But I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm like 6'6",
Uh-huh.
and there's a scene in slow motion where they're wheeling me on backwards. I can't see where we're going, and there's an exit sign that's super low hanging, and it
Oh.
just cracks me in the back of the
Oh,
head.
shoot.
And the slow motion footage is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
wait, you've
Hands
seen
down.
it? Do you have it? Did they send you that
They
clip? They're
didn't
like,
know.
"Oh,
I
here you go."
asked them to. I asked them to send it to me, and they never did.
Aw.
Somewhere in the archives under the producer's house, they've got this footage, and I need it. I need it so
Oh my god.
Aw.
Yeah, that's crazy because they pushed you out in a chair. I remember
Yeah,
that.
that
And I
was
thought that was
cool.
cool.
That was
I
cool.
thought that was cool. I was like, that's a good intro. And then your kids were like, not roasting you, but like you went to Avengers by yourself
Yeah,
or
that was
whatever. It was cute. Like it's super awesome. Like I've been to the movies by myself. Like I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Same.
No, it's
But
great.
you don't have to do that anymore. Now you have Hannah, so it's all good.
It's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
she loves going to the movies. It's we have a
Yeah.
our weekly date night. Movies are almost always what we do.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna cut this part out probably, but when you sent us that picture
yeah.
from Chai of the Dark,
Did you-
do you know what I'm about to say?
What picture did? Oh, the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Her foot is in
Under
the
your
picture.
arm.
Under your like.
no, wait,
like-
no.
Yeah.
So then Shabnam and I were like, this guy's engaged.
Yeah.
Like, we knew, like, we didn't say anything, obviously, but I was
Yeah.
like, we need to see that foot.
I see it now. I can see her foot.
Yeah. I texted them. I'm like, dude, you guys look under his arm. And then
Yeah.
like Sameem called me like, oh my God.
Yo, that's
I'm like, this
that's
guy's
a
got it.
ass foot.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
yeah,
I was like, this guy got the white girl.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess San Francisco didn't work out. So,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Hey, so
you
was
don't know that
like,
could be my
yeah.
sex doll. You don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Chai After Dark. See,
Yeah.
finally,
Hey.
we get some good references. But that was not. It wasn't a conscious decision to go find a white girl, right? Like,
Oh, no.
there's no way. Like, yeah.
I met Hannah on her very first day at work, and
Mm-hmm.
immediately I was attracted to her, which was a problem because I was dating someone else at the time.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah,
spicy.
very spicy. I just like for a whole year, I was just like in the back. Like we'd be sitting in staff meetings and I'd just be staring at her. I just catch myself
Aw.
daydreaming. So finally, when I ended things with the other person, I waited a month. I got my shit together, and I started working up the courage to like ask her out.
That's
Nice,
so
man.
cute.
It's awesome. It's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Meet,
cool.
meet cute. Is that
Very,
considered
very
meet
meet
cute?
Very, yeah.
Oh, that is it.
That is-
Shabnam didn't know what a meet cute was, and I was, for the amount of reality television you watch, Shabnam, you didn't know what it
I
was. I thought
feel
that was
like
kind of weird.
I feel like I've been in a relationship just a little too long. I missed Meet Cute. You know what I mean? Like Meet Cute came
The
like
era
a
of
little bit.
meet cute.
Yeah, Meet Cute came like a little bit after. So
So you mentioned Telugu. Are you South Indian?
On my dad's side, yeah. My dad is from Madras and Chennai, yeah.
Okay. So do you ever? What is your Bollywood or Hindi film industry or South Indian film industry like movie take or entertainment take? Do you watch them or not?
I am a big fan of Bollywood movies. I have not seen a ton of South Indian ones. I need to see more. I haven't, which is crazy. I have a couple of books about South Indian film. I just haven't, dug deeper into that. I think the last time I was in South India, I remember seeing a movie poster for something called 2 + 2 = 4 or something, and getting very confused and like, this is dumb. Why would anyone watch this movie? Why is this a horror movie? And I feel like I didn't appreciate it, or I wasn't old enough to appreciate it at the time. But now, I'm not super close to my dad's side, and I do think that I should go back and watch some of them. It would be nice. But I'll tell you right now, Dil Se and Sholay are my two favorite Bollywood films. hands down.
Yeah.
They're classics. They're incredible.
Larger than life.
Oh, yeah.
That industry is.
Yeah, I can sing all of Eka Chaturunar from Padosan by memory. It is deep in here. It is
Here's your
Really?
platform.
yeah.
Here's your platform.
No.
Yeah, this is it. Here we're making.
You guys got the engagement. You're not getting anything else.
a voiceover. We're breaking news left and right.
I got to keep something for my podcast eventually. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you have a podcast, you need to plug that shit here too. We'll put
Yeah.
I don't have a podcast. I don't have
At least not yet. Yeah,
Not yet. Yeah.
We'll get you a better microphone than what you have. Yeah.
Yeah, and a probably a better laptop than this Chromebook. That would be good too.
So congratulations, you're getting married.
Thank you.
Okay. What date next year did you plan?
So sometime in September of next year.
And you're gonna have it in Austin as well.
Jesus, Imran, dude, you can't show up, man.
I know. I
Wedding
know.
crashers
You see how
over
my
here.
line of
They see
questioning
wedding
is going-
crashers.
Sir,
What
don't
is
tell
the
him.
address?
Don't tell him.
Is it Desi Standard Time or not Desi Standard Time?
Oh yeah. How are you gonna do it? Is
Yeah.
everyone gonna be on time?
We booked the venue for 17 hours. So
Oh, Jay, wow.
we should have it. We should have it for enough time for Desi Standard Time
For people to show up.
to be covered. Yeah, and there's plenty to do. There's donkeys on the property. There's longhorn cattle on the property. There's a little river.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, a nice
So-
ranch, huh?
Yeah.
It's going to be like
Ranch wedding.
Sangeet, Mandy, and wedding together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how much
we're-
Desi to American?
We got the wedding down to 4 days, which I'm very proud of.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's going to be, we'll do Sangeet the night before. We'll do Haldi and Sangeet the day before. We'll do ceremony and reception on the same day.
Just by the way, haldi is also a Mayu
So do you?
What's a haldi?
turmeric.
Okay, so haldi, like, do you know other names for the haldi occasion?
I don't actually. Well, I actually didn't know. I didn't know a ton about it until I started doing research for my wedding.
Okay, because we we had this.
We got in trouble.
We got in trouble from a friend of ours who was like, "How do you guys not know that haldi is also called mayu? And what are the updan? There's other names for haldi."
Yeah, there are other names for it.
And
That's true.
we said that it was a separate occasion, and then our friend got mad at us.
Well, because she's like, Shabnam, you came.
Yeah, she's
to
like,
my
"You
haldi,
came to my haldi," and I was
and
like,
you don't know what a haldi is.
"Yeah," I was like, "I'm sorry."
We're stupid, dude. We said haldi was you put turmeric paste all over your face.
No, you do put turmeric paste all over your face and
That's
body,
we
right?
do.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We said that, and then we got in trouble.
We got in trouble because we said it's like a separate occasion. We don't really know why we got in trouble.
So I'll tell you the first time I heard of Haldi was
Yeah.
watching Just Rain's YouTube video on explaining Indian weddings and Punjabi weddings.
Oh, we gotta watch that.
So we're not
Yeah.
the
Okay, we
only
gotta watch
ones.
that.
We're not the
You are
only
We're
not
not-
the
yeah.
only
Okay.
ones. The video is great because Just Rain just talks about how weird it is to be sitting in a room while your relatives smear paste on you and like some creepy uncle just watches smiling the whole time.
So we were right.
Yeah.
We were totally right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Huma. So get off
Yeah.
our butts, Huma. Sheesh.
Yeah. Hey, that's my friend.
That's my friend too.
We were joking that Hannah's so white that the Haldi will stain her. So we were like, what do we need to like? What do we need to cut it with? What do we need? Like, do we need to use basin flour? Like, what do
Oh,
we gotta,
that's hilarious.
sandalwood paste? What do we gotta do? No, we tested.
Oh
it.
my
It's fine. She won't get stained. She won't have a weird yellow tan.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm not gonna make a joke about that. I'm gonna get canceled.
No, but for my wedding, I did 2 separate sets of invitations with like the Desi people got the half an hour to an hour earlier time. And it worked out beautifully. Everybody showed up at around the same time.
That
Yeah.
was weird. I can't believe you pulled that off.
Yeah.
Different start times for white people,
Yeah.
and we all showed up at the same time.
I did it because my fiance had like a party for us when we were getting engaged. And we went and we got there 10 minutes early. I was like, great, we're going to have time to set up and everything. His friend showed up 8 minutes early. I was like, this is never going to work. I need to find a solution or we're going to be so screwed.
Different start times.
Yeah.
Desi Standard Time.
Do you have?
so
So you're considering, your invitations, whether electronic or paper. Like, are you considering 2 different invitations?
We're right now we're trying to save as much money as possible.
Okay.
Like both Hannah and I work in public education. You know what I mean? It's not like we are. Neither of our families are probably going to contribute anything to this. We're paying as much of this out of pocket as we can, so everything's going to be virtual as much as I can help it. If I can get away with doing as little on paper as possible, I'll be so happy.
And virtual invitations, I mean, that's what we did. And you can do multiple times and it works out. So
It works out. Yeah.
Yeah, you have 2 separate times. I mean, that separate one invitation goes to all your Desi family
yeah.
at like say 5 p.m.
Yeah.
and then all your white or non-Desi friends will have the proper 7 p.m.
I mean,
start time.
we'll see. I mean, my family outnumbers Hannah's 2-to-1 minimum, so it's going to look really weird when more than half the wedding just shows up halfway through.
Well, how is that actually? If you know brown people, you know there's going to be a big wedding, and white people usually consider like 75 people a lot. Like that's a lot. 75 people is so much. But then Desi weddings will end up being like 200-300 people.
Yeah.
What is yours like, and how has the reaction been?
So we got it down to 140, which I feel pretty good.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
It's really
super reasonable.
Really not that bad. And I think everybody is more or less on board with it. We're still sort of in the negotiating phase. Still, we know that not everybody we invite is going to come. I'm fingers crossed that everybody invite actually comes. But yeah, I think it's still just an ongoing sort of onboarding, really. Like it's, and I keep trying to remind Hannah's family, and my mom, that as new as this is for Hannah and Hannah's family, it's also very new to me. It's my first wedding, right?
Yeah.
It's still the learning curve is still pretty high for me. And there's a lot of moving pieces. There's just a lot going on. I think that's the thing is sort of reminding everybody, hey, we're more than a year out from this thing. We've got plenty of time. We'll unpack this as much as we can, as slowly and as reasonably as we can.
Yeah.
That being said,
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But I need Hannah's side to bring the fire when it comes to the shoe game. You know, like my family has been on offense stealing shoes for as long as I can remember. We have not had to play defense since before I was 10.
Oh, wow.
And so this is
I didn't know that was an Indian thing too. I thought that was just like I think we're all Pakistani, right? Imran's half, but I didn't know where that custom came from either.
How did you, dude? Hum Aapke Hai Kaun?
Yeah.
That's like
Haven't
the
you seen that
classic shoe
movie?
game movie. How do you
It
not
is.
know? It's like
Jute
pan
do
South
paise
Asian.
lo,
Yeah.
jute do paise
Oh
lo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jute de paise lo. Someone stole my fucking shoes in 2004 when I got married. I totally remember, and I don't even think I got them back. Or we stole her shoes
How
because
much
I
did
remember
you pay?
walking out of the venue barefoot.
Oh, you didn't pay anything then, so you didn't have to like pay the 500,000 whatever.
I don't know,
Cost
dude. I
to
got
get your
married
shoes.
literally 20 years ago last week, so it's insane.
Oh, you still remember
Like, I
it.
don't-
See, it still haunts you.
September 18th. Shout out, first ex-wife.
Yo, that's my birthday.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
happy birthday, September 18th.
September 18th.
Are you going to
That's a
get
day that's
married on
going to
that
live in
day?
No.
infamy. Yeah, you should.
No.
It's a
Okay.
weirdly auspicious day.
Weirdly.
September 18th, it's the best day, dude. It's a great day.
Yeah, 9/1890. My birthday's a palindrome, almost.
Oh,
wow.
almost.
Oh, damn, almost.
You got so
Almost.
it means like I got married when you were 5.
Dude, my mom called me a few weeks ago and she's like, "Do you have something to tell me?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I got a new job. I'm moving next month in San Diego." But she's like, "Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else?" Like 6 or 7 times, and I was like, "No, nothing else." So they listen to this shit, but then they don't say anything about it. It's so brown.
I
Like, it's the
want to be
brownest thing on
on the
earth.
wall in that conversation when she calls you. I was like, "Hello, beta. You have something to tell me?" Like immediately, she doesn't say
Yeah.
hi, how are you? I mean, she doesn't say how
Oh, no,
are you or anything else.
No, she
Super
does.
pleasantries.
My
Just
mom
go
does
straight.
the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
because it's like a very brown thing, right? You want to kind of make everything nice, even
Mhm.
like even the shitty stuff, make it nice and pretend like everything's fine, right? So I mean, in that regard, I know that obviously on the show you talk about like your family history, your struggles with your dad, all that.
Yeah.
How did your family take it with you being like so open about that stuff on the show?
So we did a big watch party all together.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When the show came out, and I had my multiple laptops facing the TV for family outside of Texas to be streaming it with us
Oh,
too.
cool.
And so we could all chat about every episode. And so when we got to that episode, everybody just shut up. Like before, my family's very loud. We scream at each other. We throw food at each other. We just we just like to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
And we're very loud, especially during movies and TV. Basically every day, every time I go to dinner when we watch a movie, it's more or less like going to the cinema in Mumbai. There's constant screaming and shouting and dancing. But when I started telling the story about my dad, everybody shut up. Everybody would like
Pin
shut
drop
down.
silence.
And they stayed that way for a good 5 to 10 minutes after the episode was over.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
finally like turned to everybody and was like, "So any questions?" I went full teacher mode. And half the people in the room knew that I was going to tell the story. The other half didn't.
Oh, okay.
What was even more surprising was that there was a solid third to a half of my family who didn't know any to all of the details about my dad.
Wow. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's the thing I notice about Desi families too, and even some things in my own family stories where you don't even know what's going on in the same family, even being in a family, and it's just wild because I feel like we, in a sense, you somewhat rob yourself of the opportunity of being able to learn something from others in your family's experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in most of the rest of that year, whenever I would see family, I would ask them questions like, "Hey, I'm not trying to blame you or point out something that you should have known, but how much did you know about mom and dad? How much did you know about dad's incarceration? How much did you know about why I went to prison?" And like all of my uncles, resoundingly, the answer was like, "I didn't know any of it. I didn't know about it. I didn't like.
Wow.
Your mom asked me for money. I gave her money. That was it."
Your uncle's, your mom's side.
Yeah,
then.
my mom's side. Yeah, my mom's side. Yeah.
Wow.
Like they all tried to like they just kind of just didn't talk about it. They just didn't acknowledge, it wasn't worth acknowledging for them.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing is I feel like women a lot of times they feel like they'll just take it, whatever they can, they'll try to take it for whatever good they see of like potential future for their kids or their reputation, and it's just it's heartbreaking a lot of times.
It is. I mean, it's the whole reason that we moved to Austin. Dad had a job here, even though my parents were split. Mom was like, "I don't want you to forget that you have a father. I don't want you to live your life thinking that you don't have a father." And yeah, it was tricky. The custody thing was always going to be tricky, but and in some ways, like I remember high school was really bizarre and awkward around that time. I mean, as it is for everybody. I think for me, I remember thinking this constant battle of like, well, I don't need a dad. Like I did fine on my ACTs, I'm going to college. Like I'm doing okay without a dad. Because for most of my childhood, my mom was my dad. She came to all my Boy Scout meetings. She became the troop leader for the Boy Scouts at one point.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
She was the one who taught me how to ride a bike. She taught me how to fight,
Wow. Yeah.
She did all of this stuff.
Wow.
That's amazing.
We think
Yeah,
dads
it's
normally
so
do.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
mean,
very courageous, especially in Desi culture, to see it on screen, the story and the relatability. Because I briefly mentioned it here, how my mom, single mom, right? Also. And so going through that process, I was like, oh, seeing it on screen, I can understand, it's relatable. I bond with that character on screen. Like, it's powerful to me seeing it in real life.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
difficult was it for you? Because it would be difficult for me to share it with the producers and, oh, we got this juicy story now. Like, we got this storyline. Okay,
Yeah.
let's pump it through. So talking about it on the air, what was going through emotionally?
So again, I mentioned that I have a creative writing background, and the biggest thing that it kept going through my mind is, if I don't talk about this, some BuzzFeed writer is going to do a quick background search, because all you got to do is just type in my name, find his name, type in his name into Google. You can find 2 or 3 news stories about it. You can pull up the original court records and everything about my dad's arrest and incarceration. You can find the whole story. I said, if I don't claim this story as my own, someone else is going to claim it for themselves. That's what it's going to come down to. Like, I am not willing to put my family through the situation of someone else is going to do it, because it's not someone else's story. It is my story. It's my family's story, and I refuse to let anyone else lay a claim to that. So for me, it wasn't even as much about recognizing that this was going to be hard for me, which I did. It was more about, I have to do this. There's like, if this is going to come up, which it is, there's no way in no world in which this won't come up. I want to do it on my terms and lay as much of my claim to it as possible. And my mom's side was really understanding. They were really gracious with me about it. They were really willing to understand. And even acknowledged that, like, yeah, we messed up. We probably should have known more about this. We probably shouldn't have just pretended like everything was fine with you and your mom. My dad's side was not as happy, much less forgiving around it. But that's fine. Yeah, I think doing it was less hard than the aftermath. I will say that the aftermath was really interesting and intense, because it's not just conversations like these. Like, the conversations like these where we get to talk about that experience, I love. What was really strange was other Desis and other people from around the world opening up to me about their experiences. Right, getting random Facebook messages that weren't, my daughter was so eligible, you'd love her, but more things like,
thank
hey,
you,
thank you for opening up, for me to open up to you. And I asked a friend of mine, like, hey, why are all these people sending me this stuff? Like, am I the poster boy for Desi Brown suffering now? Like, what's going on? And
Desi sad boy.
Desi sad boy. Is that who I am now? And they said, no. Like, you don't understand. Like, speaking your truth is a form of activism.
Right.
Like, like you became an activist overnight, whether you thought about it that way or not. Just by being honest and telling your story. And the more I thought about it, the more that it became true, that it was that's what people saw. They didn't see what I saw, which was, I have to claim the story before someone else does. They saw, look how brave he is for speaking his truth.
Yeah, that's exactly how it came across. And I think you made so many people feel not alone. And you really highlighted the fact that, we do not see the depth of people and the growth and the experience in a biodata, right? So
it's true. I'll go back to talking about my dad's side too. For them, it was extra tricky because dad passed away in 2020. May of 2020, and the show came out literally a month later.
So when you were doing the shooting and you were telling the story, your father was alive?
Yeah, my dad, because we shot the show in 2018, 2019. They wrapped in the beginning of 2020. The show came out in June or July of 2020, and dad had passed in May of 2020.
Wow.
So
sorry.
So for my dad's side, they were all like, what the hell? He just passed away, and now you're talking about him on live air. Because for them, they happened back to back, right? They weren't conscious.
They think it's real time.
They think it's real time, and so it was very hard. They still send me some pretty nasty messages every once in a while. They basically their whole take on this thing is that you use your father's good name to elevate yourself. You dragged his name through the mud so that you could stand on top of him. And I have to constantly, like, every time they said it, I was like, do you not remember how much of a monster he was to you? Do you not remember what your childhood with him was like? Do you not remember how hard it was for you when he went to jail and how much of a problem he made it for you? Do you not remember the fact that he didn't leave a will so that we couldn't properly divide his estate between all of you? But like do not remember how terrible he was, but we don't speak ill of the dead.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's not that you're standing on top of his name. This is your life and your experience that you are talking about, right? So, I mean, I think it's really gracious of you to put it like that, but I see it like it's your story.
And the perception on the show wasn't that you were trying to make yourself famous from a bad story. There's nothing like that within the episode at all. It came off as very genuine, and it must be pretty cathartic to speak like that. So how do you feel now after it got out there? Is it like the proverbial weight off your shoulders? Does it feel like that?
Yes and no. It depends on the day. But more than anything else, I think it's sort of the vindication for me comes from the, like, when I think about the nasty things that my aunt said to me, one of the biggest things that stands out is the constant "lo kya kehenge," right? What will people say, right? How will we, like, how will this affect my relationships with other Indian people? How will I get by in my day-to-day life? And I'm like, nothing terrible has happened to any of you. If anything, only good things have come out after the show, because you can trade on my name. You know what I mean? My cousins have gotten dates because I went on the show, because they put whole baby pictures of them and me, and then and they pull because of it.
Yeah.
And don't they? I would have FaceTimed you. I was like, look, I do know Vyasar. Look at he's on FaceTime. What's up, dude?
That has happened too. Yeah.
I mean, your cousin in the overalls is probably like, dude, I was in my overalls on the show. You just got to check me out.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there.
Yeah.
Shout out Srajan. I love you so much. He's a good man. He's a.
I think that's what the positive aspect of the show for me, listening to the story, because my frustration in the first couple episodes is like, when they just set up the character villain, we type the villain, the good guy, the bad guy, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then by like episode 4, we're doing this podcast. I'm like, oh man, it's just very straightforward characters. And then Aparna's story comes out of her dad. And I was like, oh, snap. Now there's context. They're giving context behind each character, especially the villain. I was like, well, I don't see her as the villain anymore.
Yeah.
She's not the villain because there's context behind it and there's a story. So I empathized with her more. And that's the same direction we went through you as well. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. But we never find it out with like someone like Nadia or somebody else. Like, we don't have that connection. It's like, between you two, there was this strong connection because we got a really great story that you were able to speak your truths.
But
that was important.
Yeah. One of the things, though, that like we read Aparna's book while we were watching the season, and we talked about it on our different episodes, because I feel like in the Netflix series, they glossed over her backstory, right? And I don't know if that was a choice on Netflix part or a choice on her part of like not necessarily being ready to share it then, but she did share more in her book. And so I kind of wonder, do you think her edit would have been different if she'd shared more, or did they edit her that way and she did share more?
I think they edited her that way and she did share more. I think there's a lot of missing, like there are whole dates that were just never shown. We went on a lot more dates than actually made.
Oh, interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah. There's a lot more that never left the cutting room floor. And especially for Aparna and Nadia, especially for those.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a ton more context that never made out. Frankly, I think that was a big motivator for her writing the book in the first place, was just like, look at how much got left out. I can fill in these gaps. I can tell this story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we already knew the second episode, Imran. We even said it. We were like, they're playing her. Like, she comes across. She even says herself, like, I'm pretty difficult to be with, but that doesn't mean she's a bad person. And the way that they were presenting her and how she travels and the Bolivian salt flats, and we did make fun of it on the episode. And by the 4th or 5th episode, I was like, oh fuck, she's a real person with real feelings.
Yeah.
And I did feel a little bad, I'm not gonna lie, but she's cool. Like I felt like they played her a little bit.
And look, no one goes on this show without sort of recognizing this thing about
they're gonna know.
They're gonna know. Like, people like you got to kind of take these things. Like, I got roasted for wearing sandals on my first date with my you know what I mean? I got taken to school. And I used to tell people, like, I was in such a panic. I was in such a hurry. Like, it was so exciting to meet her. And I grabbed the first pieces of footwear I could find and put them on my feet. I wasn't thinking. But now I tell people, like, look, that's who I am. All right. Yeah. My dogs are awesome. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Stop.
We're gonna screenshot that.
We got Hannah's foot. We got Hannah's foot. We got Vyasar's foot. We got all kinds of feet.
Oh my god, that's right. That's why you come to Chai for Dark. Not the Chai.
I feel like this interview is going really well. Okay, hold on. Let me.
How far down the Reddit hole do you go with
we always
Indian
ask that.
matchmaking and yourself?
I look every once in a while. Hannah's a much bigger Redditor than I am, and even she doesn't look up much of the stuff for the show. I occasionally look. I usually like to search on Twitter sometimes just to see if there's any nonsense there. Just because watching Twitter destroy itself over the last 2 years has been one of the highlights of my life.
Fun.
It's been really fun. No, I do search a little bit every once in a while, and yeah, there's some really funny takes on Reddit. I'll say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was going through a subreddit and I was like, one of the Indian matchmaking Reddits, and I was like, oh, cool, that like we have the answer, because it says like, what happened to Vyasar's story, and then so on and so on. People like some random person. My sister lives in Austin and saw him looking happy with a girl out at a place. You know?
You got paparazzi.
This
paparazzi on Reddit.
Now this is 2 years ago. This Reddit is old, but we're gonna reignite this Reddit thread.
There you go.
It's gonna pop.
Nice.
Yeah, you can just drop in there. Hey, check out the Chai After Dark podcast if you want the scoop on his love life now.
That's crazy. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got it. Like, come on, man.
We have to answer this question. Supposedly, and I've always wondered about this because celebrities talk about this all the time and so on, about people sliding into DMs and meeting people, dating or hooking, whatever it is, the DM culture. So this person says supposedly he's dating someone he was set up with when her cousin slid into his DMs in his messages. Not sure if it was Twitter private messages or whatever it was. It could have been Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is. So did this supposedly happen?
Yes, it was. It was Facebook Messenger. It was my ex, who I started dating her right after the show came out in 2020. So we started dating. Her cousin reached out to me on her behalf because they were sitting and watching the show, and she said, he's really cute, but I bet he's getting a million DMs. And her cousin's like, no, I'm going to write him a message for you. I found this good picture of you. I'll send it. And I was getting a million of those, laughing at them. And then I saw her picture and I was like, damn, there's a woman this good looking who's into me.
Nice.
And it was it was her cousin?
Yeah, it was her cousin who sent it to me.
Woo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, you have some spicy stories.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. I know, it's all good now. You're gonna get married. So
you like that masala chai, dude.
Yeah, why not?
I do actually. No, we can talk about my life. I have not actually spoken about the breakup or my last relationship at all. So I'm happy to share more with you guys.
Yeah, and that was a setup.
We're happy to listen, man.
Yeah, we're happy to listen.
Yeah.
So it was a setup in the sense that like her cousin reached out and then we started Zooming and chatting that way, and it was going well. Like we vibed really well. She was a nursing student at the time. She's my age. She'd gone back to school for nursing. And so we started hanging out more. We after we got vaccinated, we started flying out to see each other in each other's cities. But it 2 years in, you get to a point with long distance where it's like, oh, this is either going to work or it's not. And I tried to end things early on because like, this is too much pressure to try to make this work if I don't know that it's going to work. She fought with me a ton to keep it going. And so we're like, okay, let's keep it going. And she moved to Austin actually to get a job here. She said when we were dating, she said, I moved here for the job, not for you. Like if things don't work out, I'm a nurse. I can get a job anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially because the Texas nursing exam has more reciprocity with other states than the one in New Jersey or Pennsylvania. So she has a lot more flexibility there. But then when we ended things in 2022, she said, I can't believe you're breaking up. If you can't believe you're breaking up with me, I moved down here to be with you. And I was like, aha! That's not what you said.
That's not what you said.
Yeah.
That's not what you said.
Got him.
Yeah. Because that fixes things. Being right in a breakup, that fixes things.
So she's gone. She's not in Austin now.
I actually don't know. I haven't spoken to her since the breakup.
Wow.
It was not my happiest breakup by any means. The long and short of it is she told me that she loved me, and I said, I don't feel the same way. I'm sorry.
Oof.
Yeah, I've not been in this position before. that's how I feel though. I know that I don't love you, and I know this is kind of the moment where things have to end. I don't see I don't see a world in which I try to love you and it works out. I don't see a world in which you convince me to stay with you because you love me and that's enough and this works out. There's not really a way that this works going forward.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So we have a little masala chai versus chai tea, which is like our version of hot or not, right? So obviously masala chai is hot and chai tea is not, right?
TT?
Yeah, TT, yeah. So Shaker's monogram luggage, masala chai or chai tea?
Oh, masala chai. I have monogram luggage too.
Yeah. Ooh.
Nice.
I have a monogrammed Land's End duffel bag.
That's
nice.
It was a gift. I would never spend my own money. That being said, I have never made enough money to own monogrammed anything. So
yeah, I have some monogram stuff, and my husband always gives me shit about it. I'm like, they were gifts. He's like, yeah, right.
Gifts to myself.
Yeah. So choker necklaces on women, masala chai or chai tea?
What the fuck?
She's doing this because
this is a Nadia question, right?
Yeah, because Imran and Sameem really loved Nadia's choker necklace in her.
I would say more Imran. Go back and listen.
I want to say chai tea, but not because I don't think it's hot, but because it just like, there's always going to be people who will wear choker necklaces. That's not going away. And let's be real, some people look damn good at them. Nadia is a professional model. She can pull it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people who know how to pull it off will always be able to pull it off. Just how Starbucks is always going to sell chai tea, and there's nothing we can do about it. They will never sell masala chai. Personally, it's not masala chai for me. It is definitely more chai tea. I like a long necklace. I like a statement necklace.
Nice.
Statement necklace.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I don't think a choker makes enough of a statement. That's all it is.
Ooh.
Very cool. Okay.
So maybe my definition is wrong. I feel like what she wore was a statement necklace.
It was a little tight on the neck, but it did have it was chunky
It wasn't
too.
just a black thing. Yeah, it had like the saver, right? What do you call it?
It had
saver.
Jewelry.
it was chunky. It had chunky jewels. Yeah.
Well, it made a statement to me. All right, so that's all I'm saying.
Hey, don't be a creep, dude.
Shout out Nadia. Shout out Nadia.
Yeah, shout out Nadia. Yeah.
Shout out Nadia.
We're calling this show the shout out.
There's a pundit in the show that says how's very good in the bed sex life while he's chewing pan. So I'm just wondering if you think masala chai or chai tea on pundits adding sexual compatibility to arranged marriage process.
You know what? Masala chai.
Totally.
I would rather us be talking about it than not talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If any, there are 2 billion plus people in India now. You're telling me that people ain't fucking over there? You know what I mean? Let's be honest. These people aren't springing whole from their mind. You know what I mean?
Immaculate conceptions
There's no
everywhere.
No. People be having sex.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys ever watch that Netflix series Lust Stories?
No.
Shabnam did.
Yeah, I was like, Shabnam.
I can't remember who directed it, but it's just a bunch of little short stories, single off episodes about sex in India.
Interesting.
Oh, we got to watch that.
Really
there's also a sex toy documentary, a Desi sex toy documentary. Yeah.
Shabnam, your mom is going to get in so much trouble if you release this.
No. We're about to kick off our paid feed and all this is going on that. So we're,
cool. So, no joke. I am 100% willing to help smuggle sex toys to India. I'm ready to do that.
You should watch that documentary. Yeah. It's literally, I forgot what it's called. I think Imran has it on. He's got it bookmarked.
What? Wait, what?
The sex toy.
He's literally watching it.
No, I'm looking up.
Bro, you're doing a podcast.
Lust Stories. I was looking up Lust Stories. Karan Johar is one of the directors. Zoya Akhtar, Vicky Kaushal. This is this is Bollywood produced film or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's good.
That's all I was looking up. I don't know what you guys are talking
about.
I
turn
totally
the camera
ignored
off
the podcast
for a second.
I was just Lust Stories. Let me look it up.
Nice.
No, but I just think as a culture, we need to get better at talking about sex. I bet an uncle the other day who was like, I don't even know that I could say the word sex in front of my wife.
Yeah.
And I was like, in front of your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that too. I don't have a wife, but when in February, my parents came to San Diego and Taylor Swift and Travis, somebody,
Kelsey.
Kelsey, sorry. They come on to the Super Bowl. So my parents were here during the Super Bowl. When I was in high school, I wasn't allowed to say boyfriend, girlfriend. And my dad was like, is that her boyfriend? I'm like, really? You can say it?
That's hilarious.
I get it's 30 years later, but still, I wasn't literally not allowed to say boyfriend, girlfriend when I was in high school.
This was your opportunity to parent him, be like, hey, matbol.
No, you can't say it. No. Yeah. Yeah, right, dude. My dad never said that to me. He didn't say shit. He was just like, shout out, dad.
Shout out, dad.
Shout out, dad.
Okay, so the cute couples giving their takes on marriage at the beginning of the episodes. Masala chai or chai tea?
So if you'd asked me this question 4 years ago, I would have said masala chai all the way. They're just so damn cute.
Yeah.
Some of them are like the old couples are really cute. The story about them like going to see Tootsie at the movies.
Yeah.
Like there's some of them are really cute. Now, 4 years later, I'm slightly more bitter now. It's a little more like, all right, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
You're really trying to hard sell me on this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to balance the fact like I was also on the show. I was already hard sold.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that's your thing, great. But I'm also thinking about the context of what was cut to make room for that.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so last one. And we already know the answer to this, but arranged marriage, masala chai or chai tea?
Chai tea.
Oh,
Chai tea.
Nice.
Again, 4 years ago, if you'd asked me the question, I'd have been like, I'm glad. I'm still glad I went on the show. I'm still glad that I went through the process. I'm still happy that I got to do all of these things because I met people that I would never have otherwise met. That's one of the things that people take for granted with arranged marriage. You are meeting someone that under normal circumstances, you probably would never have ever met.
Right.
And I'm extremely extroverted. I love meeting people. The hardest thing for me is when people don't want to talk to me. Like I'm okay with it. I just struggle with it. But I like meeting people. I like getting introduced to people. I had the executive director for Netflix's nonfiction division in my living room.
Very cool.
I got to meet Manisha and Rashi and all these other people through this experience that I'm forever eternally grateful for. I don't like whether I got married or not wasn't the point.
Yeah.
It was about trying something different. It was about exploring this thing that you always hear grand assumptions or things in the media about. But the truth is, through this process, arranged marriage can be about celebrating your right to choose.
Nice.
That is ultimately what it can be.
That's beautiful.
Great way to put it.
Yeah. And we're so glad you went on the show because now we got to talk to you too.
Yeah, we got to meet your ass, man. All right. Let's go.
Yeah. They should have made Vyasar the life coach. Not Dilla Uncle
and
or whatever.
Varka. She was pretty good.
You should have been the life coach.
I really, really want to do it. If they ever let me go back on the show, all I want to do is like a post-date press room presser with a guy. He's like, all right, so at what point in the date did you think it was okay to bring up crypto? You know what I mean? Just really, really lay into them. If they ever do gay Indian matchmaking, put me down. I want to be the host. I want to MC the shit out of that.
That'd be amazing.
So, have you heard anything regarding a season 4 at all, and potentially even bringing you back?
Why would they bring him back? He's getting married.
Exactly. No, but they
could bring him back for his wedding. His wedding
not trying to be
on
rude.
Season 4.
Yeah. Tell you what.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, that'd be dope. Sorry.
I'll say this right now. I'm saying this to you. I'm gonna say it to Netflix. If season 4 happens and they want to film my wedding, if they pay for it, they can do it.
Then we're definitely crashing.
Then we're definitely crashing.
Yeah.
We're crashing.
Yeah.
If Netflix is paying for it, you guys are going to get a whole podcast lounge.
Fuck yeah.
You'll be able to do like a whole truth room or whatever, and just like get all
Speak
my
your truth.
there. Yeah.
Speak your truth on recording. We'll record that for the podcast.
Oh my god. Yeah.
All right. Let me get into Netflix, Imran. I'll try.
Okay.
I'll climb the ladder.
I'm trying to think of, do I know anybody at Netflix? No.
All right, chill out.
He's got,
what are you gonna do?
He's got people.
Dude,
on
Vyasar he knows the executive producers. He knows he's the guy.
I was like, who am I gonna know? Like the person who watches Love Stories, me.
I asked him. I straight up texted. I texted the EP. I texted my producers that I worked with. Like, hey, I'm getting married. If you guys want to be involved, that's something we can talk about. No response.
Oh, dope. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Damn.
So they don't even know if they're doing. See, I mean, we're trying to see if they are even
Well, Seamonty put out a song. That's why we thought she was doing season 4.
Yeah.
Like she put this song out.
But have you seen her Burger King commercial?
No.
She has a Burger King commercial.
Wow. Okay.
Imran's on it. Imran's on it.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
I mean,
Whopper G.
Incredible.
Whopper Auntie.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, good for her, man. She's monetizing this opportunity, you know?
She's starting that college fund for her grandkids right now.
Nice.
Dude, we didn't talk about Seamonty, and I missed. I wanted to bring this up, and I know this is a total whiplash, but she was like, okay, like I got weird vibes from her a lot of the times, especially what she did to Ankita. I feel like they didn't do right by her, but she was so nice to you when and we started the episode with that, but like I felt like she was like very motherly, grandmotherly, whatever, when she told you had a golden heart. That was probably like my favorite part of all 8 episodes, like legitimately.
Of her.
And I know we didn't talk about Seamonty this episode, but like that was like my favorite part because no one's ever said that to me.
I will say, the thing with Seamonty, she is exactly who she is on the show, and she does not apologize for it at all.
Nice. Yeah.
She is in real life and who she is on the show, this exact same person. She owns it. She'll introduce herself as Seema Taparia from Mumbai to the checkout counter.
That's what she was doing at the end of the show in San Diego.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm Seema from Mumbai. I'm like, where's this party in San Diego? I want to go. Yeah, that's awesome.
And we had a really good conversation. Like the first hour, like we talked for a full hour, and the majority of it wasn't even about relationships. It was about religion. We talked about Hinduism and faith and how that informs your values and who you are as a person.
See, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be sexy, but it's like it's interesting as far as knowing your thought processes and how you think as well. Your spirituality is that would have been a nice take.
That would have been cool. Yeah, they should put more in.
Yeah. And they even like the producers are like, this is really good. We're so happy we have this on camera, but we need you to talk about other things.
And marriage. Love and marriage.
Interesting.
Well, she does say at the beginning of this commercial, the Burger King, now it's Burger King India specifically, but yeah, she does say, I'm Seema Taparia, and I'm a matchmaker. Of course you are.
Hello friends, I'm Seema Taparia from Mumbai. I'm a matchmaker. This Valentine's Day, my sincere request to all of you is, break up kar lo. How long will you be in this dry relationship? And how long will you compromise on size? No size, no swag, very simple. Ultimately, my efforts are meaningless if you keep settling for less. You must find someone who fits your criteria. Relationship में flame होनी चाहिए. It's very important. You want spice, taste, excitement, this, that, then why adjust? इसलिए ये Valentine's Day ये सूखे छोटे बोरिंग बर्गर से ब्रेकअप कर लो and date the bigger, juicier, crunchier flavored Whopper. Now your stars are aligned.
So
Imran, you need to send her your bio data, dude.
Yeah.
What are you wasting time for, man? Send it.
That's what's going to be on Indian Matchmaking season 4.
Just me.
Imran.
Yeah.
Just me.
Captain Ron.
Just me.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want nothing else. Just me. I am the villain and the hero at the same time.
You're dating yourself. Dating yourself every night.
You're gonna love me.
It's just Imran and a stack of biodatas and a stamp. One for hot, one for not.
Masala chai or chai tea. Yeah.
Just
all right.
Man.
Thank you so much, Vyasar. We had such a great time on this podcast.
We
hope you enjoyed it as well. Any closing words for the audience out there, where to find you if they want to reach out to you? Give us your socials and how to get in contact.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at NotVyasarG, just NotVyasarG. You can find me that way. You can, I guess, go to my website, and as you guys have done the research, vyasarwrites.com. You can read all of my old Game of Thrones reviews about why there should be more brown people in Game of Thrones. What else? I'm sad that we have to end this. I'm having so much fun. Can we keep talking?
Well,
yeah.
By the way, I saw that you're coming to Palo Alto in a couple weeks, so I'm gonna try to come by there. That's like 40 minutes from me, so I'm gonna.
Please, no, that would be really nice.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be so awesome.
Yeah, so it's your friend's book, right?
Yeah, my friend Nina Sharma. I guess I'm plugging for her now. Nina Sharma.
Shout out to Nina.
Shout out to Nina. We went to Columbia together. She's an incredible writer,
cool.
And her whole book is about what it's like being an Indian woman married to a black man who she's deeply in love with.
Wow. Okay.
And it's called The Way You Make Me Feel. It's really
so cool.
It's beautiful. I've read bits and pieces of it when she was working on it in the grad program, and it is
Nice.
So good. I'm
Wow.
really, I cannot wait for the event. And then the other guy who's speaking at the event, Vignesh Ramachandran, is the host of the Red, White, and Brown podcast. Also,
very cool.
yeah.
really big deal.
Oh,
I'll show them
nice.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check
crossover.
it out. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds so awesome.
Is that book out or is it under embargo?
It's out.
still?
It's out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
you
gonna
can buy
grab
it.
myself a copy when I go. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're doing readings too. If you come, you'll get to hear some of the stuff that I wrote in grad school.
Okay, so thank you again for joining us, Vyasar. We had a great, amazing time. I mean, what do you always say at the end of the show?
Hey, can we jingle out of here?
Let's jingle out.
I gotta go, dude. I gotta go to the beach.
Chai.
Dun, 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 dun.
This episode was produced, edited, marketed, and created by Shebnam, Captain Ron, and Samim of Jai After Dark LLC in association with Great Pods.